Hello and welcome to today's live English video here on the AM Language YouTube channel. As always, well, not as always, but it's so often that sometimes we end up in a problem. We end up with a problem. Today I had another computer problem. But it wasn't, I don't think the problem was with my computer. It's the program I use to create the thumbnails. It just wouldn't upload for me. Leondina, hello, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson and thank you for joining. Buon pomeriggio. And Arena F, you too. Thank you very much for joining. Privyet. I hope you're all doing well. This is a Tuesday afternoon, and we are looking at market trends. Now, yesterday we had a little look at buying and selling, language that is to do with that. So today we are following on from that, and we're going to look at language that we can use when talking about market trends. This is kind of a business English lesson in that sense. So there's a good number of us, so I will begin. As always, guys, make sure you like and share the videos, and very important, make sure you subscribe to the AM Language YouTube channel as well. I'm trying to get to 750 by the end of the month. So if you know people who are looking to learn English, make sure you share the channel. And if you want to find out a little bit more about how you can have lessons in Malta at AM Language, make sure you click on the description below. And it can take you to our website as well as our other social media pages as well. So, market trends. Now, obviously, there's some basic language which we'll just make sure we all know, but I'm going to be quite confident and say that I think all of us might know one or two things here already. We will pay close attention to prepositions, big time, when it comes to market trends as well. So you might know the word, but you might not know what the correct pronunciation is. No, not the pronunciation. Preposition is. That's what I meant. So, first things first, we've got market is up, market is down. Of course, that is exactly as the phrase goes in English. That says that speaks for itself. Good one. When you say that speaks for itself, it means it doesn't need an explanation. There is no explanation needed. The words that we've used, it says exactly what you would already need to know. So from there, let's look at the first thing. Okay, so the first thing that we need to look at is trying to put these things in order. Okay. So one. I'm going to go with A, actually. I'm going to do these things in terms of A. So put the following in order. So A, we've got and D. Okay, so can you guys try and put these four into order in terms to what we're looking at here is like okay, we could say this in terms of a market trend, but you can also link this to a product life cycle as well. So it doesn't matter if you're talking about a market trend or product life cycle. These are key terms that we always need to know. Leondina has said C is number one, introduction to market. A, growth. D, peak. B, a decline. Very good, Leondina. I'm going to come out and say straight away that those are the correct answers. That is correct. C, A, D, and B. Well done. Off to a really good start. But yes, you've got introduction to market, then you've got that growth peak, and then you've got the peak, and then after the peak, you've then got decline. So the next thing we need to look at is this. We're going to try and link the correct terms to their correct meanings. Let's go. YT says, hi, Richard. Good afternoon, YT. Welcome to today's lesson. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the challenge and the channel, sorry, and thank you for joining. So the next thing that we're looking at is I'm going to write some words. We need to link the words to their correct meaning. Let's go. Let's do this. E. Okay. Let's start off with these four, and then we'll progress to the next. So, and four. Okay, so you've got A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, you might think to yourself, 2 and 4, do they sound a little bit similar? And that's the reason, and there's something in that, because they are very similar. So don't worry if you confuse. If you like, for 2 and 4, you can put two possible answers. But I do suggest you have a little look at it and see if you can come up with the correct answers to what we are looking at over here. Like I said, these are important terms. So, okay. Okay, so far we've only got one person who's given their answers, Leondina. So Leondina has said A goes with 3. So you're saying that initial growth goes with the first bit of growth. Then you've said B goes with 1, so steady growth goes with a consistent increase. Then you've got 1 goes with C, a consistent growth. Wait a minute, have I read that correctly? A3, B1, sorry, C2. I read that badly. C2, so a sharp decline, a sudden and big drop in the market, and then D goes with 4. Arena F says A3, B1, C2, D4. Very similar answers over here. So I'll tell you what the answers are. So you got A goes with 3. Yes, A does go with 3. Initial growth is, of course, the first bit of growth. Then when you look at B, steady growth, this is going to go with 1. C, you've got a sharp decline, and then you've got plummeted as well. Now, a sharp decline over here, really and truly, you can play around with this. But yes, a sudden and big drop in the market, or a big drop in the market, a sharp decline. Well, if it's a sudden one, then yeah, it's going to be 2, and finally D, yeah, a big drop in the market. D, that goes with 4. So well done, guys, on that one. Plummeted. Now, the thing that we need to think about here is, remember, I mean, okay, a plane can plummet, for example. Anything from the sky physically can plummet. And this is the same with the market. Anything in the market, if sales suddenly stop, it can plummet. So if we go back a year ago, sales to do with the travel industry just plummeted. They just went down, and it's a big drop. So we need to remember that it's a big drop, plummeted. Sharp decline, you would see, you might, it's all of a sudden, it's as if like the market has hit an edge and it's just gone off the edge. So it's going up and up and up and up, and then, whew, okay, it's a sharp decline. Or the market was doing this, and then bang, just goes down. It's like it's been cut, for example. Steady growth, yeah, that's consistent. That's when you see a line just going very consistently, very, very little change. And initial growth, that's obviously the beginning. Okay, so now let's look at the next thing that we need to look at. Some other terms that we need to make sure that we get absolutely right when looking at this. A, B, C. Okay, let's see if you guys can now link these ones to their correct meanings, and then we can start looking at some other things as well. So we've got plateau or plateaued, peak, trough. Okay, yeah, C is the pronunciation of C is trough. So you've got one of them which means the lowest point, the highest point, and then little to no change. So quite flat. So let's see if you guys can put these together, and then we'll start trying to put the rest of these things together into actual sentences as well as thinking about the correct preposition. for some words. But here we're covering the most important ones. Thank you, Leondina. So Leondina says A3, B2, C1. Do you agree with Leondina? And then I'll introduce you to one more important term, one or two more important terms, and then we'll start pulling all of these bits of language together. But like I said, we're looking at some really important language here that you might already know or you might not. Irina F says that she agrees. Okay, thank you very much. So let's have a little look. A3 answers. You said plateau goes with 3. Yeah, absolutely. And we would write, for instance, the market has. We now plateau as a noun just means a flat area, but we can use this as a verb, and it's a regular verb. So we could say, for instance, the market has plateaued. So there's no more change. So then the next one, B goes with 2. Peak, yeah, peak is the highest point. Again, we can say the market peaked. Notice I can turn this into a verb. Market peaked in June, for example. That was the highest point. And because you've got peaks, plural S as well, and troughs. Trough is, of course, is the lowest point as well. So, like I said, guys, you've got peak, and you can use it as a verb as well. You can also use it as an adjective. When it comes to the next one, trough, trough is obviously a noun, and you can also use it as a verb. But when we are talking about this in terms of the market, we're going to stick just to the noun form. Okay. So the trough in the market was during trough of the market happened on Friday, for example. That's the lowest point. Okay, so we're moving into this. We're building our vocabulary. Like I said, okay, guys, the pronunciation of trough is this. Okay, it's got this gh, but it's actually this. Okay, so it's trough. That's the pronunciation. Trough, peak, trough, and they're plurals as well. They're countable. So peaks, troughs. You can add an s onto them. Okay, we're doing well. Now, let's go with just one or two more terms. Okay. Okay, so let's go again. A. Okay, B. And finally, C. Okay, let's see if you can link them to the correct meanings. And finally, 3. So you've got A, fluctuation. There are fluctuations in the market. B, steady. The market is steady. C, spikes. We can expect some spikes in the market. So then we've got the options. 1, the market is secure at the present moment and we can expect little change. 2, we can expect to see big jumps in the market where the market will shoot up and then shoot down. 3, we are seeing lots of changes in the market, ups and downs. So once we've done that, we've covered some really important language that you would need to know when talking about anything in the market, any form of market trend, and even a product life cycle as well. Leondina says A3, B1, C2 are the answers. Well, if you agree with Leondina, let me know in the live chat section. Don't forget, guys, if you want to take part in these lessons, please comment in the live chat section. If you're on your phone, it will be just underneath the video. So you'll see the video here, and then you'll see it underneath. If you're on your computer or your iPad, your tablet, you'll probably see it on the right-hand side. Definitely a computer on the right-hand side. Tablet, I'm not too sure. So you're all agreeing at the moment with the answers. So I'll just confirm to you the answers. So 3, you guys are saying 3 goes with A. So we are seeing lots of ups and downs, fluctuations. That's correct. Then you guys are saying 1 goes with B. Let's see if you guys are correct there. 1, the market is secure at the moment. B, yeah, that makes sense. So finally, C goes with 2. Yes, 2C. Okay. Spikes, really important. That's when you see like up and down. They're big fluctuations, but the market is doing this sort of thing. Okay, now that we've looked at that, let's have a little look at some prepositions. Important. Let's see. Okay. And, so, what are your options? Let's have a little look. Your options are as follows: of, I, in, with, on. Now, you can't use all of these prepositions. Let's see what prepositions you go with. Okay, so as you can see, I've just been looking at increase and decrease. Now, it doesn't matter if you use a synonym either. Let's say you want to use, let's say you wanted to use the word, instead of increase, let's say you wanted to use the word jump, for example. The preposition is going to remain the same. So whether you are using the word increase, or if you're using the word jump or a synonym, the prepositions aren't really going to change for this one. We always have to think about the context. Sometimes it's just talking about sales, sometimes it's giving an actual figure like 200,000, and sometimes it's giving a percentage. Now, we always have to think of the whole context. So, for instance, and this is where grammar is going to make a bit of a difference. For instance, you can see between D and E, there's a difference in grammar. There was a decrease, 30%. Here you can see we've gone with a past simple, but we've used the verb to be. There was a decrease. In E, you can see the market decreased. Again, it's a past simple, but there's no was. And because there's no was, we've gone straight with the word decreased. Here we can see that we've changed decreased from a noun to a verb in this case. So that's going to make a bit of a difference. Actually, I want to emphasize that point. We need to make sure that we need to think about, are we using the word as a verb or as a noun? And that's the other thing. If we're using it as a noun, that's going to change the type of preposition we use. If we're using it as a verb, that's going to change the preposition that we use. So this is a challenging one. This can be really difficult. Once you've learned it, you will know it. So this is a really, really important bit of language that we're looking at here, especially when it comes to prepositions. So let's see. Actually, I think this is generally quite a good one. I'm going to make sure I take a photo of this because I think this is generally a very, very good question. It's a hard question. It's a hard preposition question, actually. I'm going to make sure I remember this one. So let's see. Yes, right. It's worth it's always worth going back to think about prepositions. Prepositions in English are so difficult, and we've looked at quite a lot of language today. After this one, we'll enter a final activity where we have to pull in all these different languages, all these different words together to try and complete paragraphs, as well as using the correct prepositions. I do encourage you to make sure that you write down the answers to these ones once I give the answers. Now, I'm going to give the answer in about a minute or two, maybe 2 minutes, a minute, actually. I'll give you the actual answers in a minute. But this can be difficult. But the meaning changes as well. So this is why the meaning can be affected, because whether we're using the verb or whether we're using the noun, the preposition is going to change as well as the context. Let's see what you guys have gone with. Leondina has said with, of, in, of, by, of. Okay, thank you, Leondina. And thank you for your answers. Now, you might decide that you can't use all of the prepositions. You might decide you can only use 2 of these prepositions. Or you could be like Leondina and you think, right, I think maybe I can use all of these prepositions. So I'm going to give you guys 30 more seconds. Come in. Let me know if you agree with Leondina. If you don't agree with Leondina, feel free to give me some alternative answers, and then we will look at the correct answer. Like I said, guys, once we've looked at these, make sure you write these down, the prepositions to these ones down, because once you know what the answers are in terms of a book, you can always just go back and look at it. But this is quite an important one. So let's look at the answers. Okay, so A, there's been an increase. So A, in, increase in the sales. Okay, there's been an increase in sales. Um, Now that automatically might give you an idea what the other answers might be for some of them. Yeah, when we go with this, this form of increase, there was an increase. There was an increase in sales. Here, this is taking on the form of a noun, really. So B, there was an increase, for example. So B, I need to stop doing that. Okay, B, there's been a decrease, therefore, in decrease in sales. C, um, there's been, sorry, there was a, oh, wait a minute, I see what I've done there. Let me just delete that. Sorry, I've jumped past B. That's why I went straight to C, didn't I? So B, there was an increase. Okay, there was an increase of, in this case, there was an increase of, increase of. Now, why of? Okay, increase of plus the number. Okay, so if you're just going to go with the noun sales, then you're going to go with an increase in sales. If you're going to go with an actual number, there's going to be an increase of. So if you're going with the number, go with of. Okay, increase of plus the number. So there was an increase of 200,000. There was an increase of 30,000. There was an increase of 100,000. Increase of plus number. That's the rule over there. Now we move on to C, and the answers over here, it's going to be, it's just going to be a repeat, really. So there's been a decrease in sales, decrease in sales, because you're going with the noun version. You're finishing off with just sales, for example. D, now you're giving, now you might think, wait a minute, what have we done here? There was a decrease of. Here we've gone for the percentage, but you can see this is still in the form of a noun. That's important. It's still a noun. Increase. Okay, so there was a decrease of plus number in this case, or percentage. But remember, decrease or increase at this stage is still being used as a noun, not a verb. Now we come on to E. The market decreased. Now you can see here that it's now being used as a verb. Okay, decreased. Here, this is now being used as a verb. Therefore, the answer is the market decreased by. The market decreased by. Wait a minute. Have I used? Yes, we're on E, aren't we? Yeah. So the market decreased by 40%. We've used the word decrease as a verb, not a noun, and therefore we're going with by. Now we don't need. Be careful with your comments. Be careful with your comments, please. This is just about learning English. And finally, F. Okay, F. Okay, so for F, we've got the market increased. Okay, so here we've got the same sort of thing. Increased, it's being used as a verb. Okay. Right, so increased, Then we're going to go with the verb, okay? And increase. Oh my gosh, there's a troll over here. Okay, so increased, and then we're going to go with, what should we go with over here? It's the same sort of thing, so it's going to be by. Increased by, something increased by. Okay, good. So the market increased by. And those are the answers over there, guys. So make sure you take that down. Please make sure you take note of it. That's what the prepositions are. For these sort of things, you do need to think about, so as a summary, if it's a noun, you need to think of whether it's going to be in or of. If, for whatever reason, you're going to be looking at it from, you're going to give the actual percentage or number, then you're going to go with the preposition of. And if you're using it as a verb, then it's going to be by. Okay. So finally, let's look at the last little bit over here, where we're going to go with a final little challenge. Let's see if you guys can complete the following sentences. Okay, so 1. We've looked at quite a bit of language these days. So, okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a clue on the side over here. Okay. Number 2, let's go with, and let's go with more 3. Let's see what you guys come out with over here. Okay, so yeah, you got the market something at lunchtime hit the top before dropping. Okay. So here you need to think of, okay, what word have we looked at today where you're talking about something hitting the top of somewhere? 2, there was something drop in the market. There was a drop in the market. Don't go with the word sudden. I'm thinking of a particular word. Okay, it begins with S. Something, for instance, that you can cut. Imagine something that can easily cut. And finally, 3, there was an increase, something 30% in the market. Okay, let's see what your answers are for this one. Apologies as well about someone in live chat who decided to, what we would call, troll the lesson. They come on and they try to cause disruption. That was annoying. Anyway, so yes, here we go. See if you can complete these last 3 questions over here. And that would then bring us to the end of today's lesson. But yeah, there's a lot of things to take away from today's lesson. So make sure you do. Make sure you do take, you take notes. Okay, so number 1, the market hit the, okay, so Leondina said 1 is plummeted, 2 is sharp, and 3 is off. Okay. If you agree with Leondina, let me know in the live chat section. If not, come in with your own answers. Maybe you disagree with Leondina. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys just 30 more seconds, and then I'll tell you what the answers are. The important thing with number one is hit the top before dropping. The market hit the top before dropping. Okay, so in terms of writing a sentence, the market plummeted at lunchtime, that can make sense. But is that the correct answer with this context? It's about the context. So it hit the top before dropping. So what do we say? What's the word for when something hits the top? Because it's going to fall away afterwards it's hit the top. So effectively, what is the word we use for when something is at the top? Okay, 20 more seconds, and then I'll let you know what the answers are. I'm going to get ready with the answers. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here are the answers. So the answer to number one is peak. The market actually, sorry, peaked. Sorry, peaked. It should be for number one. Peaked. Because I'm using it as a verb here. So the market peaked at lunchtime. Okay, so that's where it hit the top. Number two, there was a sharp drop in the market. Well done, Leondina, you got that one. And finally, there was an increase of 30% in the market. There was an increase of 30% in the market. So well done there. So guys, make a note of these answers today, especially the prepositions. And if you've liked if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel as well. I'll be back tomorrow at the same time for another live lesson. A big thank you to Leondina, Arena F, YT, who joined the chat briefly. Thank you very much for your participation in today's lesson. Leondina says, thank you, Richard. It's always a pleasure to follow your lesson. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Leondina. Arena F says, thanks, Richard, and have a pleasant evening. Thank you very much, Arena F. So, guys, take care. Enjoy your evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time with another live English lesson here on the AM Language YouTube channel. Take care and bye for now.